As you see the starting lineups, Garnett, the veteran Sam Mitchell starting with Rasho Nesterovic, Zerbiak, and Chauncey Billups. Eduardo Najera getting the start at forward with Nowitzki, Rafe LaFrance, Michael Finley, and Steve Nash from afternoon. And Kevin Garnett wins the opening tip. In fact, one of the games here in Dallas, Minnesota won without Kevin Garnett. So they certainly have the confidence that they can win in this court. Nesterovic quickly down low.
Flip Saunders talking so much about the improvement of Rasho Nesterovic, not just on the offensive end, but also help defense.
Some of the matchups to watch for Billups and Nash. Now Steve Nash playing. He has not been the most healthy point guard in recent weeks. The main problem has been fatigue. Nash goes at Garnett. Oh, tough shot.
Great shot. That may be the longest arms in the league to shoot over.
And he did it with the left hand. Nesterovic goes right past Rafe LaFrance. And as you see the leading scoring and rebounding and assists for Minnesota, LaFrance is going to have some good defensive games for this team to advance in the playoffs.
Well, he's a better defender off the ball, blocking shots when it's not his man shooting, and he's not very physical. And defending the post is not his forte.
Michael Finley. Mitchell gets a hand in his face. And a ball knocked out of bounds.
In this series, they've really dominated Dallas points in the paint. They would love to live in the lane early. That'll open up things for the perimeter shooters.
Yeah, we mentioned Dallas, the #1 scoring team in the NBA, but Minnesota was the 5th highest scoring team. Neither team known for their defense. Timberwolves a little better defensively. And both teams like to use the zone. Zerbiak way off the mark, but Nesterovic gets it to Garnett, and he did not get it off in time. Early, as we said, Mavericks basketball for a long time struggled, but the last 2 years they have come out in force. 34 sellouts this year, a sellout here this afternoon. Nash. And Garnett the rebound.
Talking to Stevie Nash before the game, Michael, I said, how do you feel? He said, good, but he didn't sound too convincing.
Nesterovic looking for a shot early. Another nice little jump hook. He's calling for the ball, something he had not done in past seasons. This year, much more aggressive. Nice feed. Najera can't finish. Najera, one of the few Mavericks that you can say is a very good defender. And Zerbiak knocks down a wide open 3.
What else would you follow an air ball with than a 3-point shot?
A 7-0 run. Nowitzki. Now Sam Mitchell at 38 years old getting a start. The main reason he's played Nowitzki very well during the regular season.
I think that's why Sam Mitchell's starting. It's why Eduardo Najera's starting. This matchup right here, Nelly likes him on Kevin Garnett.
LaFrance knocks it away, but then a foul. Najera
Pretty agile.
This is his 4th year in the league.
Keep improving. Nesterovic is an improving player.
Kevin McHale says that he's kind of like a Rick Smits type, the former Pacers center. Ball deflected and stolen. 3-on-1 for Minnesota. And Sam Mitchell able to put it in. There you see Chauncey Billups with the smart decision. His play is going to be so important. Terrell Brandon, of course, missed the last 34 games with the injury, and Billups is the starting point guard.
Chauncey's one of those guys, Michael, that I'm talking about. When you stretch his minutes out, the question is...
First team foul. The double team on Nowitzki. Somehow gets away from it, forces up the shot. Evan Ishmael, who just checked in. And another foul call.
Mike, it's scary at his age how much he's still continuing to improve. He's 23 years old, and he is just making a quantum leap each season.
Nice pass from Ishmael. Evan Ishmael comes into the game and quickly picks up an assist.
I don't think he's in to pass. He's in to hopefully do a little bit better job defensively on Rasho Nesterovic.
Billups. And Nash the rebound. Mavericks will look to run at every opportunity. Nowitzki for 3.
We can turn off the 24-second clock, Michael.
Billups gets inside and draws the foul after Ishmael got his first assist. The Dallas Mavericks. One game he had a career-high 36 points. In another game he had a career-high 17 assists. Filling in for that man, Terrell Brandon.
There's no question about his ability, and as we said, he is capable of being spectacular. What he needs to be is consistent.
And you see the shot clock. I think I'm going to agree with you, PJ. It will not be winding down all that much.
Maybe we'll do a seminar for both of these teams. This is the shot clock.
Garnett, the rebound. Minnesota has hit 5 of their first 7 shots from the field. Nesterovic played well by Eschmeyer, but an offensive rebound. Finley on Serbiak. What a fun matchup to watch today. Serbiak shoots over and knocks it down. He's tough to defend because he's a legit 6'7".
The move to guard has really helped him. I thought Minnesota was in a delay offense there that time, Michael.
So a 9-point lead for Minnesota. They were a good road team. A game over 500 on the road this season. Nash puts it in. That's a 2-pointer. You know, during the regular season, Minnesota had a habit of building up big leads against Dallas. In 3 of the 4 games, they led by as many as 19.
Dallas three-point shooting, no surprise. They take so many threes, and they've really knocked them down. Little bit of a surprise, though. Dallas has done a great job getting to the free throw line.
Phillips a little bit out of control. Garnett. Sam Mitchell. Stripped by Nowitzki. Tough shot by Garnett. And Eschmeyer the rebound. Eschmeyer's done a good job since coming in the game. Flip Saunders wanted to travel on Nash there. Very good officiating crew on hand. 65 years combined experience.
Hugh Hollins wanted Flip Saunders to sit down and stop telling him about that play.
There's a defensive 3 seconds, so a technical foul. But they have never had the home court.
Flip Saunders has not done a good job. He's done an exceptional job. He and Kevin McHale building this team. They've weathered a lot of turmoil and player turnover. I think they've done a great job. And they Dallas Mavericks. It's an upset if they win this series.
And they've had to rebuild a lot. They lost Marbury, then they lost Gugliotta. So they've lost some key players, yet they still tend to be one of the better teams, just not one of the best teams, as we have another defensive 3 seconds and a technical foul.
You have to be realistic. This is why it's happening.
With that said, they feel they can beat the Mavericks. They played them well. And a 4-5 seed, you see the 4 seed upset quite a bit, if you even want to call it an upset.
Well, I think other than the year they faced Seattle and that one went 5, this is the best opportunity they have. But I don't want to call it a good opportunity.
Mitchell got it back, but rushed the shot. 7-point Timberwolves lead. Just over 5.5 to play here in the first. The pace, as expected, rather quick. Nash guarded by Serbiak. Tough shot from Nash. And Nesterovic the rebound.
You'll see Billups a lot of the time on Michael Finley because they like that matchup better. It means
Thursday, the short practice on Friday, along with the injections and the IV. Nash had a full practice yesterday and told me before the game that he'll sort of feel his way the first few minutes, but ultimately right now he's feeling good. Mike?
Lewis, Nash said the 82 games was a goal. He really wanted to play the entire season as Nesterovic misses him. That's great, but he's the type of player that maybe a rest now and then might do him some good.
I don't know if you can get him to sit down unless he absolutely has to.
Nesterovic that foul. Finley was normally a guy that played all. First time in his career he has been out there in the regular season. Wasn't an easy year for him. He had some bumps along the way. He was in the trade rumors. He saw his 2 teammates become all-stars, so he had some ups and downs, but he really finished strong, and he's still the heart and soul of this team.
He's playing the best he's played all year right now, Michael. Dallas last time out of the timeout showed a zone, trying to counteract whatever Flip Saunders was diagramming in the timeout. Now they're drifting back in.
Boy, Billups down amongst the Giants.
Chauncey is bigger than most of the point guards in the league, and he's going to look to exploit that. Minnesota now showing zone. These 2 teams play as much zone as anybody in the NBA.
And in fact, part of the success that Minnesota's had against Dallas is the utilization of this zone.
A little bit of a surprise because Dallas is such a great perimeter shooting team that they would have some success, but Minnesota does zone well.
A brick by Nash, but lo and behold, he had to shoot it because of the 3 left on the shot clock. So the first time the shot clock was winding down, you see Garnett scoreless, yet the team's still leading by 7.
Well, I'll tell you, both coaches would be shocked, but one of them is delighted with that stat, Flip Saunders, because he knows Kevin Garnett is going to get his.
Nash, like the Energizer Buzzy. Adrian Griffin gets in. Mitchell pokes it away. Crowd wanted a foul, but that's good, just good aggressive play. And Finley with a terrific defensive play. And then throws it away.
Well, let's be realistic. They shoot it better than anybody in the league, and they put up better offensive numbers than anybody in the league. So they genuinely respect the ball.
big scorers have been rather quiet. Phillips trying to draw a foul. Van Exel does a good job getting away. But Billups still able to knock it down. He's got 9 points.
Chauncey Billups with the size advantage over Nick Van Exel also.
Against the Dallas Mavericks.
Now, Mike, you made that point earlier. Both of these teams are spurt teams. They shoot it so well and they run so well. You're going to see big lead changes from both these teams.
Nowitzki. They are prescription glasses. We're about to just take shots out. Nowitzki now with 5 points. If you ask Don Nelson where he's made the biggest strides this year, he said it's rebounding. Now, he's been bothered down the stretch of the season, missed 4 games with a sprained ankle, but it appears to be 100% now.
He just continues to improve. Garnett does the same thing. It's scary at their age.
And Garnett gets his first points, and it puts Minnesota back up by 11.
We talked about moving Serbiak to 2. Kevin Garnett spending most of his time at the 3 spot, and that has really helped his game. Surprisingly, he's rebounded well from the 3 spot.
Griffin setting up Van Exel beautifully.
The dribble penetration broke the zone down that time, Mike. Anytime you see Kevin Garnett up at the top, you're seeing that 1-2-2 zone from Minnesota.
And that's their first 3-pointer, and it pulls them within 8. Chance of defense. I don't know if that's appropriate here. Billups knocks down a 3.
Chauncey Billups evidently likes to play against the Dallas Mavericks.
12 points for Billups. Remember, he got that career-high 36 earlier this season against them. Van Exel setting up Griffin beautifully. Works a little better when Van Exel takes the 3, with all due respect to Adrian.
Exactly. Adrian's not getting paid to shoot perimeter jump shots.
Griffin, one of several bench players for Dallas who actually play very good defense. Gary Trent knocked away. Griffin gets inside. He didn't have any height advantage. He had the men in front of him, but a very measured, methodical break.
I think his college coach at Seton Hall taught him not to move, Michael. That's Adrian Griffin's range right there. Take it to the rack.
Garnett. That high release impossible to obstruct.
Well, they list Kevin at 6'11" or 7. When you factor in the arms and maybe the fact that they're stretching a little bit, he plays about 7'5".
Timberwolves having a big offensive first quarter. Nowitzki settles for the jumper.
What do you mean settles? That's what he was looking for all along.
That's one of the things that Don Nelson has to get on him once in a while. He's such a good perimeter shot, but he's so dangerous going to the basket. Garnett now starting to get the feel, and he draws the foul on LaFrentz. His 5th year in the league. It's his 2nd year with Minnesota, and after bouncing around with Boston, Toronto, Denver, and Orlando, but they didn't make any deal, and Billups remained the starter.
He stepped in, and he's really done a good job. Again, not to be critical, it's the consistency that's lacking, but Chauncey Billups still a young player.
Robert Pack, meanwhile, who backs up Billups, he comes in. Nowitzki and Garnett. I can watch that all day. Tough shot. Garnett played him well, but Nowitzki with a perfect follow-away.
If there's a difference, that's it right there. Kevin Garnett makes you work much harder when he's guarding you than Dirk Nowitzki does when he's on the defensive end.
Nowitzki's gotten better, but he's still not a good defensive player.
It's not his forte. At least he's got an area he can work on.
Garnett can't connect. Ball taken away by Griffin. Griffin has great hands. Van Exel for 3. And Anthony Peeler, who just checked in.
He should have held for the last shot. That's a mistake, and Nick Van Exel's a seasoned player.
Robert Pack, a former Maverick, can't connect. And that will end the first period. The Timberwolves every year, it's a staple that they take care of the ball, but for Dallas, with the pace they play, to have an NBA record for viewers, that's a tremendous stat.
It's an unbelievable achievement.
LaFrentz on the pull-up. How about your center able to do that?
Well, I'll tell you that, they're struggling to score points. They only get about 105, so you trade for a Rafe LaFrentz and a Nick Van Exel.
Since that trade, the team went 19-8, about the same winning percentage as before the trade. Not an easy thing to do to pull a trigger midway through a terrific season. Nowitzki, that's a 2-pointer. He felt he was fouled.
Got some people in the building that agree with him.
Garnett, tough shot. will go against Gary Trent.
You know, Michael, you're talking about the trade. February 21st was that trade. It's less than 2 months. Nelly, you know, maybe poor mouthing a little bit, but it's true. 2 months is not enough time to get players acclimated. Yes, Raef LaFrentz and Nick Van Exel in particular have contributed, but they're nowhere near as comfortable as you'd like them to be.
Nash on a turnaround. In fact, Nelson believes for you to win a championship, you have to be together 4 or 5 years. We asked him earlier today, is your team good enough to win a championship this year? He said no.
He hesitated, and then you're right. He did say no. I don't think they are either. I think they're an excellent team. They're one of the top teams in the league since when they were in Denver. But still, talk about problem when you're sitting at that opponent bench, as Anthony Peeler drills it, when you're sitting at an opposite bench and they wheel those kind of players on the floor, you had trouble matching up with Dallas to begin with. Add another mobile big man who can shoot threes, and add one of the better point guards in the game who can shoot threes and distribute the ball. This team is even tougher. Here we go.
The French misfires, and they're young. Garnett with another rebound. He's got 6. Trent, once the ball goes down to Gary Trent, 2 fouls for Griffin, so Nahara does come in. Trent, a very good low post player, but sometimes there's only one option, and that gets him in trouble. Nice spin move from Smith away and blocked by LaFrentz.
There's the off the block.
But he was also second in the NBA in block shots. I think he's everywhere.
30 cities, 30 days. Get ready, America. Here comes Bill.
He's a part of me. He's a part of everyone. Only Bill would get involved in this.
Full court pressure there by Minnesota. Dallas not really concerned, although this is one of their longest offensive possessions.
Still early here in the second. 9-point Minnesota lead. And another turnover. That's the 5th already for Dallas. Garnett. Nahara played him well. And here comes Van Exel. Van Exel and Nash in the game at the same time. No hesitation on the 3. I like what Nash did. As soon as he hit it, he pointed right to Van Exel, who set him up beautifully.
Those two have a very good chemistry working. They look for each other. They're very comfortable. You had to wonder about bringing Nick in, but he certainly blended in well.
Joe Smith left wide open. And Nowitzki comes in for the rebound.
And that was a mistake. Joe Smith can make that shot.
Van Exel in traffic. Penetrate and dish. A 3. Return the favor.
Exactly right. Beat you on the dribble and find his backcourt partner.
And the crowd on its feet. The vitamins apparently are working. As you see, the shooting after the slow start. And all of a sudden, Minnesota, which came out lighting it up, it's got a little cold.
I hope Lewis Johnson kept some of those vitamins for us.
Finley all over Zerbiak. There's an elbow in there, but that's because Finley put his face in there, and Nesterovic misses. Joe Smith, tough battle, and Zerbiak comes away with it. But he's called for a travel.
But that's not making Michael feel any better right now.
Nash, nice feed to LaFrentz. And a help defense going over a little late. 8-0 run for Dallas. They're within 1.
Well, it was unusual. It started out like a dribble handoff and then tried to be a pick and roll. And Minnesota was confused, didn't know how to defend it.
Phillips. And Nash tracks down a rebound and quickly races up the floor. Non-stop for Nash. And he gets the roll. Mavericks with their first lead of the game.
Stevie Nash made his mind up when he crossed half court. He was taking that shot.
And this building exploding. Phillips draws the foul.
And shoot it quickly. You need that when you're a smaller guard. And Minnesota doing a very good job getting to the free throw line. That's normally a Dallas forte. Minnesota perimeter team doesn't always get to the line as much as Foot would like.
Finley sets a hard screen on Phillips. Nash trying to take Zerbiak off the dribble. Oh, pretty pass. LaFrentz couldn't finish. And a technical foul call on Don Nelson.
Because these 3 are all not hesitant to tee you up.
Who's the rep you want to see in a big road game? A lot of them will say Joe Crawford.
Absolutely, but you better remember, your players better remember, chill out. He doesn't need any suggestions on how to make calls.
Nesterovic goes at Nowitzki. Fight for the rebound, Nowitzki. Look at him dive on the floor. That ankle's feeling okay. Don Nelson told us if Nowitzki's getting rebounds, you know he's feeling better. Billups misfires. And Joe Smith called for the loose ball foul.
Great atmosphere for the first half of the first playoff game for these two teams.
The intensity difference between regular season and playoffs, it's impossible to experience until you go through it for a player. Nowitzki. Van Exel led him beautifully.
Little curl move, but very difficult to defend.
All tied up with 6.5 to play here in the second. Van Exel's now guarding Billups. Nash is on Peeler. Minnesota wants to take advantage there. LaFrance the rebound.
Shot didn't really come into flow for Anthony.
Nowitzki goes hard. And a foul call.
Michael, it's going to be interesting to watch the flagrant foul.
In the playoffs, 4 flagrant foul points begin suspension. You can get that by getting 4 flagrant ones or obviously 2 flagrant twos.
You throw a flagrant 2 in there and you're halfway there.
Approaching the midway point of the second quarter. Mavericks by 2. Garnett. Zerbiak kept that alive.
Boy, Zerbiak doing a good job getting after it on the offensive boards.
Garnett stripped by Nowitzki. Here comes Nash. That's a 3.
They love that look. That's why you don't turn the ball over. They had the ball for about 2.5 seconds on offense.
The crowd has been getting up on its feet almost every other time down the floor. We got to save something. Mitchell back in the game. Shot clock winding down, and Billups again. Chauncey Billups now with 17 points, and that's Minnesota's first field goal in nearly 5 minutes.
Chauncey Billups is a great late clock player because he can create his own shot.
LaFrance wide open.
I think the players are a little tired, to be honest, Michael. Some of these looks are good looks, but we're going up and down the floor.
Billups has it knocked away. He felt he was fouled. And Michael Finley ahead of the pack. And Finley with his first field goal.
You say it all the time. Anytime a guard goes to the basket and doesn't finish the shot, it usually leads to a transition layup on the other end.
Garnett foul on the way to the basket. LaFrance has now picked up his 3rd personal.
What a great player he was going to be. Nobody's laughing now.
Extend the Lakers and maybe even knock them out as Garnett hits both.
Well, he'll be hard-pressed to improve on that double OT game last weekend, and I dare say there may be an occasional hard foul in that series.
Look at Minnesota shooting in the second quarter. 2 for 14. Finley gets, Finley right at the Starovich. I thought he was going to pass it out.
Michael Finley didn't think about passing it out. That was the zone by Minnesota out of the timeout. Michael Finley just put it on the floor and took it right to the rack.
We've seen the zone sporadically from both teams in the opening half. Zerbiak tied up. Billups for 3. And Nash will get a running start. Nowitzki, Nesterovic goes for the fake. Oh, that's just fun to watch.
That was beautiful basketball, Mike. Transition, push the ball, and play unselfishly.
16 for Nowitzki. Mavericks their largest lead. Nesterovic, he can drill that. He's got such a soft touch for a big man. Although there's a lot of that going around here today.
A lot of people with good touch.
Michael Finley. And look at Nowitzki hustle it down. Nowitzki now with 16 points and 7 rebounds. And comes up short that time.
Got to be careful when you take a lot of three-point shots. Those long shots usually yield long rebounds.
Billups shouldn't have passed that. He made a perfect move and had a layup. Just too unselfish.
Don't wait. Minnesota kind of hung their heads, and Dallas is right back at it.
Nowitzki draws the foul and 1.
To get matched up. They move the ball so well. Dirk Nowitzki, surprisingly, can't convert from the free throw line.
18 points, though, for Nowitzki. Mavericks by 4, just under 3 to play In the second. Garnett calling for it. Mitchell fires away. Not the shot that Flip Saunders wants there.
Well, Tom Tolbert talked about the fact that the penetration for Dallas is causing problems. Minnesota's standing around a little bit against some Dallas zone. And when you stand around, sometimes you don't shoot it nearly as well.
Van Exel able to haul it in. And the Timberwolves, who shot so well, 52% in that first quarter, have really gone cold here in the second. Van Exel. Nowitzki. Mitchell bumped him. That's the second time Mitchell felt that they call it too tight. But sometimes even that little bit makes the difference. It's just a good ambassador for the game.
He's a great basketball player and a better person, Sam Mitchell.
Helped out Kevin Garnett quite a bit in his development.
Minnesota, excuse me, Mike, trying to get more movement. They got Anthony Peeler wide open. That's one guy can stand around and bury it from the perimeter.
Yeah, that's one guy. Don Nelson told us before the game, Peeler's going to be a key in this series.
Can't let Anthony Peeler get open looks. Earlier in the game, he had to work to get a shot off. That time, he caught it and shot it effortlessly.
Finley. That's a three for Van Exel.
We talked about whether or not they could win. Michael Finley believes they can win.
Garnett calling for it again. Dallas has done a good job keeping the ball out of Garnett's hands. Zerbiak has it knocked away by Finley, but Garnett gets it back. And a 24-second violation
after a great offensive first quarter.
Yeah, how about Dallas's defense here in the second quarter? Their last 11 games, Don Nelson said they've been playing better defense, but he kidded part of the reasons because Nowitzki wasn't playing as Nash misfires.
But Nowitzki and Steve Nash was also banged up, so he gets those other guys in there, the grunts that do the work.
Phillips, that'll go out of bounds.
Well, if you played Adrian Griffin and Greg Buckner and Eduardo Nahara and Johnny Newman, the defensive numbers would clearly get better, but I don't know if the offense would.
Nowitzki. Long on the follow. Two times can't put it down.
Flip Saunders was not happy with the quick shot last trip down by Chauncey Billups.
Garnett. And that's a case where Nesterovic was looking to slam it home before he caught the ball.
He was. KG may have had a little too much on that, though. That was a short pass to come that hard.
About 2 seconds difference between the shot and game clock. Unlikely that the Mavericks will hold it. Maybe they will.
Well, here's the zone. You got the two longest offensive possessions consecutively.
Garnett, so difficult at the top of the zone. Finley throws it away. Garnett looks up at the clock, and he's called for a double dribble. Van Exel lobs it, and that'll end. Don Nelson arguing he thought there was interference on the rim.
Dirk, we've seen guys on the floor, you on the floor, people are bleeding. Are you surprised at the intensity, the physical nature of this playoff game?
Not at all. I think we got enough experience. We've been through it last year. We played the playoffs, so everybody knew what we had to expect. But, you know, at the beginning, they just got off a better start, and we started rebounding better. We do a good job defensively on Billups. He really hurt us at the beginning, but we do a better job defensively, and offensively just have to be aggressive.
Now, with the torrid pace that we've seen in the second quarter, how concerned are you about Steve Nash trying to come back with the fatigue issue? Because it doesn't look like this game is going to slow down at all.
No, you know, we just got to run the ball. That's our game. If he's fatigued, you know, we got Nick, who's a great point guard to me, an all-star point guard, so we don't have to be worried about Steve too much.
All right, thanks a lot. We'll see you in the second half.
By the way, he played as Nowitzki gets inside. Good defense from Billups. Shot clock winding down. Nash gets in, high archer. And a whistle from out of town. It's not normally the Dallas home crew. It's something they've done this year throughout the league in the postseason.
No, it's the Houston clock operator who I believe is here today, Michael. But the confusion is any of three different people can start the clock, as it doesn't. Stevie Nash doesn't get the roll. The slot official, the trail official, or the scoreboard clock operator.
Garnett against Finley. Good matchup for the Timberwolves there.
Flip said you don't have to say anything to KG. You certainly don't. 19% shooting in the second quarter. Part of that problem is Serbiak and Garnett have got to get more looks. Minnesota's big two have not been there today.
Serbiak averaged 24 points a game in the regular season against Dallas. He had just 5 in the first half. Garnett. Mitchell left open. Nowitzki the foul. Nowitzki, you want to just come up and kind of, and a technical foul call on Nowitzki. He's yelling at Joe Crawford.
One of the reasons, though, that Garnett is not getting as many looks, Dallas paying special attention to him. You talk about knowing the players. You have to know your opponent, what his tendencies are.
His family. Remember his dad, Shad Crawford, an umpire in the major leagues for so long. His brother, Jerry, an umpire in the major leagues.
Great officiating umpiring family, Mike.
T-Wolves back up by 1 as they've scored the first 4 points of the third. Nahara had foul problems in the opening half. And a foul on the pass.
A pressure in that pass because it was open earlier.
Nowitzki bangs into Phillips. 2 on the shot clock. Rafe LaFrance now with 6 points. Mavs came out hot early, led by as many as 11. Or I should say Minnesota, the 11-point lead early. And then Dallas came back strong as Nowitzki grabs his 8th rebound.
It's like the Minnesota recipe is to get KG involved early.
Finley on the pull-up. And Garnett with his 7th rebound.
His shoulders at about rim level.
Serbiak. Tell you what, I'm impressed with Dallas's defense after the first quarter as Mitchell knocks down that one, but they're really playing some pretty good defense.
No question, they're putting forth better effort on the defensive end. That time, though, Minnesota took advantage. Dallas got caught where they were sliding and rotating. One extra pass yielded the open shot.
Nash. Nesterovic is on him. And Nash able to shoot and knock it down. Steve Nash shooting the ball well. He's got 14 points.
Great lesson right there. He got Rasho Nesterovic back on his heels. He made him think he was going to drive the ball to back him up and shot over the top.
But Nash has had to work at the other end because of Phillips' fine game. Nahara fighting up on Zerbiak. Nesterovic rushed it.
You call it, Mike. The defensive intensity is much better from Dallas than it was in the first quarter.
There wasn't much of any kind of defense in the first quarter for them. They gave up 31 points. Zerbiak using the glass.
I guess technically the intensity can't be better if there were no intensity to begin with.
Nash will get some rest in between games as he puts a nice feed into Nahara, because game 2 is not until Wednesday, and then game 3 not until Sunday, so the whole fatigue story might go away very quickly.
First round of the playoffs favors veteran players and somebody trying to come back from an injury because the games are really spaced out and there's a minimal amount of travel.
I'd like to see traveling coiled much more. And I think the players would adjust in a hurry.
Players are always going to adjust, there's no question.
Nash, nice feed, LaFrance. Nesterovic did a good job just going straight up.
He did a good job not committing a dumb foul because Rafe LaFrance was kind of caught nowhere land.
And Zerbiak gets his own rebound and a quick foul. Wally Zerbiak, for his first time being an all-star this season, has had to adjust to that as well.
Well, you can see the impact already, and you also see a mismatch right there. Wally Zerbiak has his hands full trying to defend Nick Van Exel without any help.
Van Exel now with 8 points. Mitchell blocked by LaFrance. Phillips gets rid of Nash and puts it in. Chauncey Phillips now with 19 points and 6 assists. There's already been 9 lead changes in this quarter alone.
Both coaches love to go at mismatches. There's a lot of mismatches out there. They're just isoing players and letting them go one-on-one.
Garnett guarding Nowitzki. Tough shot from Nowitzki.
I don't don't know if I'd call that one a mismatch. Kevin Garnett is a very good defender.
Van Exel is on Serbiak.
Right back to him.
Yep. Serbiak again rushed it a little over anxious knowing the mismatches there.
Good basketball, but Nick was aggressive.
Nash just kind of flipped it up. Nowitzki nearly decapitated Serbiak in the game with 9 points. But how about having Nick Van Exel as your backup point guard? He's probably the best backup point guard in the league.
How about having Avery Johnson as your third string point guard and can't even make the playoff roster? Now he's a coach.
Avery Johnson part of that deal from Denver. Billups. Chauncey Billups continues his terrific play. And there's Avery Johnson. Tell you what, the guy that's taken over his starting job in San Antonio played pretty well yesterday, Tony Parker.
Yes, he has. And as always with these two teams, the way they shoot dictates the game. 6 for 11 Minnesota in the third quarter. Dallas has slipped to 4 for 11. That's why Minnesota's on top.
Finley puts it in. Serbiak was right in his face, and Michael Finley able to knock it down. Finley with 8. Serbiak. Van Exel got leveled on a screen. And Nesterovic doesn't miss many of those when he's wide open.
Rasho Nesterovic has a great touch and the ability to score inside. He is going to get better and better.
Finley back-to-back jumpers. Michael Finley, who has really looked forward to the postseason. Last year in the elimination game against the Spurs, Finley shot 1 of 17 from the field, and he kept the box score as a reminder. Nowitzki with a rebound. Nowitzki against Garnett. Garnett's such a good defender against such a great offensive player.
There's no defense for that, unquestionably.
You know, you see guys, a lot of guys, not just 1 or 2, huffing and puffing today.
They're going up and down the floor, and they're expending maybe a little more energy on defense than they normally do. Flip Saunders telling Wally Serbiak the angle wasn't there. He tried to make the pass from on top. He wanted one more pass to the side, and then the entry might have been there.
At 1 point, Dallas lead. Turnovers higher than norm for 2 of the better teams in that department. Nowitzki off strong, and a foul. Dirk Nowitzki with a chance for a 3-point play. Able to knock down the free throw. Dallas by 4. 7 straight points for the Mavericks. Quite an ebb and flow to this one.
There really is, but I think the key for Minnesota is going to be for Garnett and Serbiak to give them more offense.
Nesterovic made a nice move. And a foul.
I'm really impressed with Dallas's effort on the defensive end.
Finley really bodying up on Serbiak. Nice move from Wally. Serbiak couldn't finish and then gets called for the foul. Dirk Nowitzki has last couple of years really developed some toughness to his game.
I think he said when he came in here, he really didn't know what to expect. You can watch it on television a couple times a week from Europe, but until you line up against these players.
Van Exel, perfect timing on that. He was hoping for the pick and roll, and there's that kind of in-between shot. So Minnesota going to try and squelch this run.
Early double-double for Dirk Nowitzki.
This equals the largest lead of the game for Dallas. Garnett has Nash on him. Nesterovic left open, but comes up short, and Nowitzki another rebound. He's got 11 boards, and a lot of them tough rebounds, not only in traffic, but ones he's had to go after.
He likes those 20-20 nights, and he's got one working right now.
Garnett pins it and grabs it. This crowd was going to explode.
People in Toronto, particularly the players and coaches, so delighted to have Stan back on the sideline.
And a salute to the fans for that warm welcome they gave all back. Gary Trent has come in from Minnesota. Adrian Griffin for Dallas. Trent gets it, shoots it, gets it again. Blocked by LaFrentz, but a goaltend.
Off the ball, Rafe LaFrentz always looking to block. You like that. You'll take goaltendings. You want people to be aware when there's a shot blocker on the floor.
Nash getting a rest now. Van Exel and Nash play together quite a bit. And a foul down low. Gary Trent. For LaFrance, this is his first playoff game.
I still don't think Rafe is comfortable. Nick Van Exel much more comfortable in Dallas right now than Rafe LaFrance. Just hasn't found his niche yet.
5-point Dallas lead. 2.5 to play in this third quarter. Garnett, relatively quiet game. Well, the Mavericks have really looked to stop him. Shot clock winding down. Peeler using the left hand. Fight for the rebound. Trent. Trent goes up, blocked by LaFrance. Trent again. Foul. And one. Gary Trent, second time with the second effort. Trent, this is his first year with Minnesota. His 7th year in the league as Nowitzki grabs another rebound. Minnesota, his 4th NBA team. He started with Portland, Toronto, a brief stint with the Mavericks. So there are a couple of ex-Mavericks on the Timberwolves. Robert Pack, another one. Lead is 3. Van Exel. And Serbiak the rebound. Phillips calling for the ball. On the trailer play, Garnett can't get it. Goes back, blocked by Finley. The foul.
Fast break layup.
Garnett.
They would love to start a first-round series with a win. They've never done that in franchise history.
Part of the reason he's been quiet, every time he touches the ball, they send a second defender out. Every time.
2 and sometimes 3. There's no question he and Wally Serbiak are feeling the heat from the Dallas defense.
Trent is on Van Exel. Griffin goes hard. Garnett with the block. Not a smart shot that time from Griffin.
Too small.
Phillips, oh, nice hesitation pass. Chauncey Phillips having a terrific game. That's his 7th assist. And a 6-0 run from Minnesota. They're back in front by 1.
Gary Trent's got them started off the bench, and good defense has keyed some transition action for the T-Wolves.
Moore looks like a zone. There's a 3. Way short. 3-on-2. Numbers for Minnesota. Serbiak! And Don Nelson wants a 22nd timeout.
These two teams play a similar style. They're so explosive offensively. There they are, sitting back again.
Final minute, third quarter. Dallas back up by 3. Or excuse me, Minnesota by 3 after Dallas came out strong here to start the third. Nash against Joe Smith. Shot clock winding down. Nash is going to have to put it up. And they didn't call a 24-second violation, I guess, because Minnesota had a chance for a break.
No, they got it up.
But it didn't hit the rim on that particular.
No, Minnesota did a great job, though. They switched the pick and roll, and then they rotated. They really frustrated Dallas on that offensive possession.
Van Exel here right now. Nearly a steal from Naharat. Serbiak, Peeler with a great look for 3. Ball tipped. Nash running. He's going to get a chance to get it off. Steve Nash at the buzzer. Here in game 1. 3 quarters complete. Mavericks and Timberwolves all tied at 73. You would expect in a playoff game as opposed to those regular season matchups. Finley fighting over the screen.
Wally Serbiak fighting to get a look at the basket this afternoon.
Robert Pack gets it to Trent. Trent had a good look. Another second effort. Defended well. Rafe LaFrance right there. Van Exel off the dribble. LaFrance for 3.
You telling me he didn't call glass?
Yes, that's what I'm telling you.
You're correct.
The Mavericks had missed their last 8 3-point attempts prior to that one that Nash hit, and now LaFrance, so they've hit 2 in a row. Chauncey Billups leads Minnesota in scoring with 21. Garnett only has 12, Serbiak just 11.
Look at these numbers. 2 of the top 4 in the league barely hitting the rim this afternoon.
Garnett short. LaFrance played him well. That's one of the keys in LaFrance's game. He's a good defender and an excellent shot blocker. Nash gets past Peeler and is tripped up.
So look for Chauncey Billups to maybe struggle with that cramp in the last 11 minutes.
Finley. Serbiak making him take a tough shot and Finley knocks it down. Here's Zerbiak. You can't play him much better than that. Make him taking a shot like that.
They're doing a really good job, and it just continues back and forth. One team gets hot and pulls away, the other one responds.
Offensive foul.
2 trips ago, he couldn't finish, but he provided the lift Flip was hoping for.
Van Exel steps back, puts in the 2. And the Mavericks come out of the gates in the 4th quarter with a 7-0 run.
Flip's going to take a timeout. He goes to zone. Nick's kind of standing there, nobody underneath the basket.
Minnesota, because of that 7-0 run, had to use a timeout. They only have 1 timeout remaining, or to use their 22nd timeout late in the 3rd.
Well, the timeout they didn't want to use was the one for Chauncey Billups' cramp. But you have to be in a game. People say, we got a foul right here.
And 14 on the shot clock for Minnesota to inbound. Garnett. Peeler. Nice defense from Nash. And then a bad pass from Nesterovic. The 12th Minnesota turnover. Finley. Nice duck under. 9-0 run to start the quarter.
We talked about the problem in defending this team early on. Nowitzki and Nash carried the load. There's the 3rd member of the triumvirate. Now Michael Finley stepping up.
Garnett foul on his way to the basket. Mavericks 4 for 4 from the field in the 4th. Garnett called for travel, took that extra step.
Well, his steps are a little long. When Kevin Garnett takes a step, it's very, very long. Sometimes it looks like an extra step. That time he did.
Nash, he's bumped. LaFrentz sits down. LaFrentz, by the way, has 5 block shots.
He's keyed the defense, and you're talking about defense. Boston played a little bit of defense against Philadelphia this afternoon in Allen Iverson's return.
Shot clock winding down. Philly. Nahara lost it out of bounds. Nowitzki wide open. And Peeler gets the rebound. Both these teams have great ability to come back and do it in a hurry. So even though Dallas in control here to start the 4th, there's still plenty of time. Garnett wants the ball. Nesterovic way short. Garnett the rebound. And there's a high percentage shot.
Look out below.
Kevin Garnett just 14 points, but he has 15 rebounds and 5 assists. Nowitzki goes right at Nesterovic. Nara trying to keep it alive. Not a physical play again. Zerbiak, that's a 2-pointer. And just like that, Minnesota cuts it to 5.
Minnesota just looks so much better, Mike, when they're able to get out and run. And they got to attack Dallas's half-court sets. Defensively, they struggle.
Don't forget, they won here during the regular season without Kevin Garnett. And the 2 teams split the 4 games. Shot clock again winding down. Nash for 3. Zerbiak, tough rebound, and Minnesota looking to push.
Zerbiak again.
Zerbiak inside, Nesterovic on the tip-in. Zerbiak made a nice catch. Billups threw it behind him and still able to get it. A 6-0 run for Minnesota. Finley for 3. Zerbiak again ahead of the pack, but Peeler didn't see him. And an offensive foul. Great transition defense from Nash.
Got his feet outside the semicircle and in front of Anthony Peeler.
Nash not known for his defense, but smart play that time.
Big play.
3-point game, still plenty of time remaining, over 7 minutes. Finley, one of 5 players for Dallas in double figures. LaFrentz, point blank range. It was a great look.
Minnesota was zoned up. Ray found the seam. He just couldn't finish.
Garnett. And Nash trying to cheat over on him. Garnett blows past LaFrentz. Zerbiak not expecting the pass. Rushed that shot. And Nowitzki comes down with his 13th rebound and a foul. But again, he's done the job on the boards with 17. And he has his 5 assists, which is about his season average. He averaged a career high in boards and assists this season.
But he's got 6.5 minutes to still pick it up offensively.
Van Exel for 3. He's He's a big shot maker, has done so throughout his career.
He's a big shot taker also. A lot of players don't want the big shots. Nick Van Exel has always welcomed them.
Garnett comes up short. He's been short on a lot of his shots today. The Maverick defense, and some people will be surprised to hear this, but the Maverick defense a lot to do with it.
I think that's the big story. The last 3 quarters, Dallas has really stepped up defensively.
Nesterovic, good hands, but still Dallas ball. Finley, the catch, fires. And a 24-second violation. She's a big Mavericks fan. By the way, you count that as a turnover. That's only the second turnover in the second half for Dallas, and the first one here in the fourth quarter. And a foul on the French.
It was just the opposite in the 4 games in the regular season. Dallas with a huge advantage.
Nahara in. Nice feed. Nesterovic can't get it to go. Garnett again.
When you asked Flip Saunders before the game, does he want Kevin to be more selfish at the end? 2 possessions. He threw it to Wally Szczerbiak. He didn't finish. He threw it to Rasho. He didn't finish. I think it's time for Kevin to get more selfish.
Garnett was brought up. If the teammate's open, throw him the ball. But he's the main guy. Van Exel for 3. Not a good shot in that instance.
Here come the numbers. 4 on 3.
Peeler inside. Nesterovic blocked, but a follow and 1.
18 offensive rebounds.
They're a good free throw shooting team, but there are exceptions. Nesterovic a bad one, but Peeler keeps it alive with a big offensive rebound. Another one. That's 19 offensive rebounds for Minnesota. Garnett comes up short again.
Wow, Minnesota has had opportunities to tie this game up.
Nowitzki for 3.
You wonder how many chances you're going to get, Mike, inside. Minnesota's got to finish.
28 points for Dirk Nowitzki. Mavericks back up by 5. Still plenty of time. Peeler, offensive foul. Lowered the shoulder.
Opportunity. How many times is it going to come? Kevin Garnett with the look right in front of the basket. Yeah, a little bit of pressure. And then Dirk Nowitzki with the 3-pointer on the other end. That's not a 4-point play. That's a 5-point play.
It's a 5-point game. 4:04 remaining. Nash with Garnett on him. Blocked by Garnett.
Good point, Mike. You knew he had Garnett on him. Steve Nash didn't.
Nahara with the steal. Peeler with his second straight turnover. Nowitzki has Nesterovic on him. A matchup Dallas loves. That's a 2-pointer. Nahara nearly kept that alive. Garnett instead with his 19th rebound.
Has good 6 Minnesota turnovers, really hurting them right here in this corner. Dirk's got to get a better shot than that, Mike.
Nesterovic over Nowitzki. Rasho Nesterovic with a big bucket. He's got 16 points.
Dallas walking it up. We may see that fatigue we talked about early. And you have some tired players on the floor right now.
They'll have plenty of time to rest. Game 2 not until Wednesday here in Dallas. Nahara, an open look.
They've hurt them with that matchup all day. Rasho Nesterovic zones up to help, and the big man for Dallas just flashes in the middle. He's wide open.
5-point Dallas lead. Peeler drives again. Pass inside, knocked away. Peeler with another costly turnover. Nahara wisely brings it back out. Nowitzki has Billups on him, and Nash recognized that and got on the ball and drew the foul. And Exel, Nahara, Nash, Nowitzki, and Finley out there. The French the only one close to fouling out. Nahara again. And Garnett snatches his 20th rebound. Billups had the big first half, a little quiet in the second half, and that one in and out.
Long time between shots. Minnesota needs a couple of stops in these final 2 minutes.
Finley with Serbiak on him. Tough shot, puts it in. .16 for Finley. Mavericks have equaled, or now lead by 7, I should say, with 1:35 remaining. Nesterovic knocked away by Finley.
Can't put the ball on the floor against a good aggressive help defense, and Dallas is doing that this afternoon.
And the crowd sensing a win. The turnover's crucial in this fourth period. Van Exel. Just over a minute remaining. Minnesota's going to have to start thinking about threes. And there's a bad foul. He's 6 of 7 from the line today.
There's more than enough time to get back in.
Phillips hits a pair. Let's see if the Mavericks, although they don't normally like to do it, but they need to take time off the shot clock. Peeler trying to put the pressure, and there's a bad foul on Anthony Peeler. 5-point game, 57 seconds remaining. Flip Saunders knows his team has had their opportunities here in game 1. Mavericks continue to play some very good defense. Phillips felt he was fouled. Naharan played him tough.
Serbiak and Garnett have played well, but not well enough.
After 3 quarters, Dallas came out strong. Serbiak, strong move to the goal. That's too easy. If you're Dallas.
Too quick, exactly right. One of the many assistant coaches on Dallas gets a lot of the credit.
Nash hits a pair.
Doesn't even hit the rim.
19 points, 6 assists for Steve Nash. Garnett puts up the 3 and puts it in. Kevin Garnett from downtown. And Nash right back there where he looked pretty comfortable last time. And Nash in 4 attempts doesn't hit the rim. Half minute to go, 7-point game. Phillips again. Quick basket. Phillips almost fouls Finley before he inbounds. Now Van Exel. And he's played pretty well.
Unbelievable opportunities late in the year.
Clutch free throw shooting from the Dallas Mavericks. Van Exel nearly committed a foul there. Grip of the rebound. And let's see if the Timberwolves are going to put up the white flag. Flip Saunders will let them play it out. And another standing ovation for the Dallas Mavericks. An impressive Game 1 victory in this best-of-5 series.
Very solid effort by the Mavericks.